All right, we are back. Dynasty Trades in 5. I'm Clay.
I'm Shane, stoked to talk about this tight end tonight.
And I am Scott, aka maybe I'll be Pat for the show. We'll see whether I'm good or whether I'm a little lower or higher than Shane.
Nice. So we're doing Pat Freiermuth tonight. He he's had a pretty good rookie year, right? 60 receptions, I want to say close to 500 yards, 7 TDs. Just turned 23 years old a few months ago. So I don't know, he showed some promise, maybe a little earlier than we might have thought. But Scott, where's your head at with old Muth?
Well, he had a better rookie season than I thought. I was one of the people that kind of put him in that range of he's going to be overdrafted, he's going to be overvalued, and we've seen a lot of younger tight ends that are high draft picks, and people tend to automatically overvalue them immediately, and really their production really doesn't come for years down the road. I mean, we've seen quite a few from the last few classes or the last 4 or 5 classes that's happened to. He's had a pretty good rookie season. I mean, you can't, if you'd have told me he would end up being a close to a tight end one, when you factor in points per game, he doesn't quite get there. But when you factor in total points, he's right on the fringe. So, almost 10 points per game as a rookie. And we're talking just PPR there. If you translate it over to different premiums, then obviously he gave you more value than what you probably thought you were going to get as a rookie. Tight end 7 in ADP. That's where I kind of have the issue. It's not a hot take for people to say they'd prefer Freiermuth over Fant, Goddard, Knox. We've done a Knox episode in the past. Like, I don't think he's clearly ahead of those guys because he's quote unquote, younger, right? I think he's probably in that mix, like in the second tier of tight ends, but we tend to get a little out of control with these guys' value where, okay, he's a top 15 tight end as a rookie. That means he automatically has to be better next year, right? And the year after, he has to just smash. So by year 3, he is going to be, Mark Andrews, Rob Gronkowski. I mean, he just has to be, right? He's just destined to be that good. And I've just been burned too many times where it's like, okay, the guy was good as a rookie, good as a second year guy. And then like year 3, 4, and 5, he's just good.
Yep.
And there's this window where it's like right now you can get easily a first for Pat Freiermuth, and you didn't have to draft him in the first. You can probably get a first for him in even just tight end premium leagues. And then you get into some of these scarce leagues, 175, 2 PPR, start 2. Like, he has some serious sway. So I would just say I'm leaning towards a sell, but we'll see what Shane says.
I hate agreeing with you, but yeah, he's a sell for me. I mean, he definitely when you were talking about him, describing him, he literally feels like that guy that we are going to think, yeah, he's going to skyrocket because he did this in his rookie year. Well, no, this is kind of who he is. Like, I don't think he'll ever be a George Kittle. He's never going to be Travis Kelce. He's not going to be Mark Andrews. Could he be Dawson Knox? Sure. I mean, he actually nearly matched Dawson Knox in scoring this year, which is a little surprising. If anyone's trading a first for him, I'm taking it. I don't think he's a difference maker. I think he's a very good tight end, but like you said, he's going to get caught up in, we get caught up in just thinking that these tight ends are going to just skyrocket. Like year 1, he's going to have 10 points. So by year 3, like you said, he's going to have 17 points a game. More likely, he's going to have 11 points a game. And he's going to have these weeks that all the tight ends have, but especially the non-elite tight ends, they give you those stretches where they give you 3.5 points, 6.2, 4.5, 7, and then 30. And then you start buying in again, like, well, maybe he's elite. No, he's a good tight end. He's never going to be the number 1 option in an offense, and he's not going to be the number 2 option in an offense, not in a good functioning one. And I think a good quarterback in Pittsburgh is actually going to hurt him a little bit because I'd expect Claypool to see a ton more usage and some more downfield throws to both Claypool and Deontay Johnson. Again, not a bad player, but if someone wants to give me a first for him, they can have him.
Yep. So I guess in terms of what would you require if you're selling Mark Andrews? Well, I'll just throw out a trade. Would you rather have Freiermuth and the 107 or Mark Andrews? 12 team super flex. We'll call it just a 0.5 tight end premium.
I'll still take Mark Andrews even with that small of a premium.
Yeah, I think if I can flip the 107 for a 23 first or even a 23 first plus like a third or something like that, then I'm okay pivoting down in a 1.5 start one. I think that's where
do you have that second trade fired up? Is that trade fired up? Are you talking to someone on the back end?
I mean, you'd figure the 107. I mean, what's the breaking point? We haven't really talked about that on this show, but I mean, I think that's a fair breaking point where you should be able to get a 23 first at least for the 107. But who knows? I think I'd lean the package there just because I'm literally obsessed with trying to collect the 23 first. So if I can do it, then that's a good pivot.
So what about Pat Freiermuth or the 201 and 206?
Still 1.5 premium, I'm guessing. Yeah, I mean, again, he's not special to me, so 2 seconds is enough for me to move him.
Thanks, Scott.
Yeah, I think I'd be shooting. I don't mind the value, but I kind of would want a different type of deal, if that makes sense. I mean, I get it. You're kind of getting the reset button and taking extra shots on Freiermuth, but I think he has enough market steam that you can probably shoot for a different type of deal. It's not, just that pure value.
So
Yeah, you know what? I'll tell you what, with Freiermuth, sorry to cut you off, Clay. What
You're
I
good.
want to do is I want to take him and another asset and tier up. Because whoever I trade him to is going to think that they're pulling one over my eyes. They're pulling the wool over my eyes. They're hoodwinking me. That Freiermuth is going to be a lot better than I think. So me giving them Freiermuth and a first for Mark Andrews, they're just going to think I'm a big old dummy. And I'm going to disagree and then beat them to death with Mark Andrews in my lineup next year.
Would you rather have Freiermuth and Ayuk or George Kittle?
Kittle.
Man, we're disagreeing with Shane here a little bit. I think that's a close deal. Again, I hate to be beating a dead horse here, but like, can I get a 23 first for Brandon Ayuk? Would you swap a second and a first and you get Cole Kmet, give up Pat Freiermuth, but you get the 23 first and you give back the 204. Like,
yes.
Yeah.
And that's just a coin flip.
I'm giving up the first.
You give me a 23 first and Cole Kmet. I give you Pat Freiermuth and the 204.
I do not like it.
That's a coin. But to me, if I can do that type of deal, again, it's going to be hard to trade the 204 for anything close to a 23 first. But you kind of bridge the gap there and say, okay, I'm going to just take a coin flip that, let me say I offer you the same deal. 208 and Freiermuth for a 23 first and Adam Troutman.
Wait, what side am I? Am I getting the first?
You get Troutman in the first. I give you the 208 and Freiermuth.
I want the first.
In the first. Give me the first.
Yeah.
I think that's how you pivot, though. You got to hide some extra value in the deal, and ultimately you come out of it with a first for Freiermuth. A 23 first for him, I'll take my chances on being able to find a tight end 8 or 10 in a given year. He's going to have to vastly outproduce that to really have me hurt on that deal. You know what I mean? He's got to reach the top 3 or 4 level before I'm looking at that deal going, man, I screwed up.